Good evening. Welcome to Star Talk. I'm Ken Echols, and we're happy to have you with us on the program tonight. Some things have happened, haven't they, since our last show on Wednesday? I hope that all of you made it through without too much difficulty. Um, it's been, to say the least, has been and continues to be a terrible time for many people in North Carolina, especially Western North Carolina and Southwestern Virginia, and our prayers are with them all. The phone number is up there on your screen. If you'd like to give us a call, by all means do so. You can also email us at the email address, which is liable to be up there. If it's not, it's kechols47@gmail.com. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Well, good evening, Mr. Ken.
Good evening. How are you?
We have breaking news from Kansas City.
What is the breaking news?
Ross Chastain won the race, and we had a watermelon busted on the track.
He did, and we did, and he enjoyed, as he often does, enjoyed a piece of that watermelon. Um, Finally, people have been waiting for a long time for that, a watermelon to fly, and now it has done so.
I hope we see another one. But to other news, Carrie
Yes.
Underwood is back on Sunday Night Football.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's wearing a better outfit than she did last time.
All right. Are you the Sunday Night Football fashion critic?
Well, not really. If I would, I'd approve the miniskirt that she was wearing.
Okay. All right. I'm not surprised to hear you say that you like that.
Well, oh, let's get down to business. Where did I finish?
You're in pretty good shape. You are in the top five now. You are in fifth place, and you are, let's see, you're 20 points from the top.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, Talladega is the next race.
That's right. Are you
188 laps.
are you prepared?
Go ahead.
Are you prepared to make a pick?
Yes, sir.
And what is your pick?
I'm going out. I'm going out on a limb.
Okay. How far out?
I am going. I'm. Let's say I'm probably going to say I'm going for a young gun this time. Young driver.
Hmm. Which one?
I'm going with the 24.
The 24. The 24, William Byron. Charles from Danville has William Byron for Talladega.
And I'm going to predict he'll do all three stages.
All three stages. Wow. That'll be quite a day.
Mighty well, mighty bold of me, ain't it, sir?
It is. It's quite bold. Um, well, though, when you said you were going out on a limb, I was sort of saying maybe you'd pick a Carson Hocevar. I mean, that would be like way out on a limb. But I'd say with the 24, you're maybe a third of the way out on the limb, but you're not all that far.
Yep, I'm looking for him to get one before the end of the season. Hey, I can always take a good prediction. Now, if he does it, I'll be celebrating.
Well, it's in the book.
Well, sir, I'll let everybody else call and remind Mark May Dan Tuesday of some things that don't forget about Wednesday.
I will do that. I certainly will.
Bye, sir.
Thanks for calling. I think he hung up on me. Usually I hang up on him. Phone line is open. The number is up there. You can give us a call or you can send us an email at that email address. I think everybody got the points tonight. As you may recall, last week we had an endless struggle with Gmail getting it to deliver all of the emails to everybody. And it happened again. Somebody requested a list of the picks, and I sent that, and it came back to me as under. I have no idea why, but it looks like everybody got the points tonight. I hope so. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken. Hey, Ken. Mark Marion.
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, what was Charles McDaniel telling you to remind me of the Mass Singer Wednesday or Tuesday or what do you say?
He said to remind you of events on Wednesday. That would be the Masked Singer. And then he said to remind you of
Oh,
events on Tuesday. What's on Tuesday night? Is that The Voice?
yeah, I guess so. The Voice is Monday and Tuesday. I don't know if he knows that or not. But it's night and tomorrow night.
Okay, well that must be what he meant then. So we reminded you.
Okay. I know my guy. He finished in 14th place this past Sunday. So what do I stand?
Mark, you stand. Um, well, shoot. You're number 14, 14th place, 122 points. So you took a little bit of a drop.
Oh, okay. Okay. I want to pick number 11, Denny Hamlin, for the next race.
Okay, Mark has Denny Hamlin for Talladega. It's in the book.
Yeah, that's what my great sources at Checkers tell me to pick Denny Hamlin for number 11.
All right. Well, I think pretty good pick, I would say. Denny Hamlin usually runs pretty well at Talladega.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks, Ken.
Well, thank you, Mark. Thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, Ken.
Hey.
Couple of things. This is a nice guy.
Right.
I want to take Elliott this weekend, but I can't. I took him last, so I'll
Uh,
have to take Bush.
okay. Kyle Busch for nice guy at Talladega.
It's something else too. Tornado rolled through my house and next door.
Did it hit your
Did a
house?
major. It didn't get my house. It got a bunch of trees, but it wiped my neighbor out
Oh,
on
no.
Heffinger Road. The
I'm
worst
sorry.
tornado I have ever seen. Took about 8 or 10 buildings down, lifted one building way up in the air, and then crashed it back down.
Mm.
Steve Baker, I went over there today, and he was out there by himself trying to clean up some of the stuff and get it back in somewhere out of the weather.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Tremendous amount of damage. Probably $300,000 or $400,000 worth.
Oh, I hope
Major.
I hope he was insured.
He had one building with some insurance on it. He took the roof off of that big building where he had an auction house in, huge building.
Mm.
But the others he didn't. And the two neighbors, it got both of them 6 or 8 big buildings, 8 or 10 big trees down everywhere.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
the most damage I've ever seen from a tornado. And what's worse, I was talking to people this morning, and one of them's daughter was leaving here and going to Asheville to help out up there. And when I went up there this morning, I couldn't help Steve. I had problems of my own, but he was there by himself trying to straighten some things out.
My goodness.
If you got a second, ride up 770 and cross the creek. It's the first road on the left to the old Heffinger Road.
Mm-hmm.
And you wouldn't believe. You need to go up and look at it.
Now that is
Okay.
that's between Eden, so towards Stoneville from Eden, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite halfway, but you cross the creek, cross Buffalo Creek, past Sunrise Printing and my lake, and just cross the creek, and it has left. It's got no trespassing sign, but and it's got businesses up there. But anyway,
how
you need.
who is going to help those folks out? I guess they'll be eligible for some sort of relief from the state for what they're not insured for. Does he have any idea right now where help is going to come from?
No, he said he had insurance on the big building, which the tin top, about a third of that came off. A whole lot of, probably 1,000, 2,000 square feet. But there's two families that live up there behind it, and they've got tremendous damages too. One tobacco barn and 4 or 5 other big buildings are tore completely apart. I mean, it took buildings up in the air and then crashed them down. I mean, I ain't known that to happen.
Now, the county has announced, Rockingham County, that they're going to be collecting supplies and relief for Western North Carolina, which is good. Well, we should do that. But let's not forget Rockingham County. Folks here need help too.
Well, it just dropped down and then jumped right back up in the air. But it did a tremendous amount of damage. And like I said, I don't know a whole lot of other than going on. I've up and looked at it twice, and I hadn't seen anybody helping him.
Now that would have been on Friday, right?
No, late Thursday.
Late Thursday. Okay. Well,
That's when we had that thing.
Sorry. I'm sorry to hear that happened to those families. And I hope the state and the agencies, relief agencies, and whoever else is involved in this, I hope they will act quickly for those families and for everybody else, because it's been a terrible time.
Well, I wish they did too, but these people that were leaving town today to go to Asheville, they should have stopped by up there first. Anyway, talk to you later, Ken. Appreciate the call.
All right. Thank you. Thanks a lot for calling. I will, we'll answer the phone first. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Ken, this is Jerry on 3rd Avenue. I'm not going to mention any names. I just want to tell a little story. But one Halloween night, these 2 girls came over to my house, wrote happy birthday on my Pontiac. And 2 or 3 years later, God snapped his finger, and God blessed me with that $2,000 Camaro. And like I told you before, every time I get my feelings hurt by someone's words or attitude, God is sending me a message that he's about ready to bless me, and he's about ready to bless me again for what I'm going through now. And thanks for taking my call, sir.
Well, thank you, Jerry. Thank you for calling. Rockingham County is, and it's a news release. I'll find the news release here in a second. The county is, as I mentioned, collecting supplies and needed items for Western North Carolina. Oh my goodness. Microsoft has picked this moment to send me some notices that I'm really not interested in and really don't want to see. So please, Microsoft, if you will, as I was saying, Rockingham County is collecting supplies and relief for Western North Carolina. Let's mention again, let's also not forget uh, people right here in Rockingham County, as we were talking about a few minutes ago, who have suffered damage from the storms. And excuse me while I get my earbud back in place here. Uh, so let's go ahead and tell you about this. If you're interested in donating much needed supplies, then you can bring them to the Rockingham County Maintenance Warehouse at 338 Cherokee Camp Road in Wentworth, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. Also at the Eden, Madison, Mayodan, and Reedsville libraries, Monday through Friday, uh, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 9 to 4 on Saturday. And also Stoneville, Monday through Friday, 9 through 5. They need non-perishable food, sealed blankets, flashlights and batteries, feminine hygiene products, hand sanitizer, Gatorade, unopened toiletry items, baby supplies, insect spray, manual can openers, work gloves, new clothing, and trash bag. Anyone wishing to donate pet items can drop them off at the Rockingham County Animal Shelter on Cherokee Camp Road. Dog and cat food, cat litter, towels and blankets, and cleaning supplies. Uh, these intended to be sent to Western North Carolina, where so many people are in need. But again, let's don't forget folks impacted right here as well. As we have learned tonight, um, multiple families have suffered terrible losses as a result of the tornadoes. Um, and I would guess, I haven't heard anything official, but certainly I would guess that probably the Salvation Army um, and the Red Cross and other agencies that operate here in the county will be helping with that situation. Certainly the State Department of Emergency Services will become involved in that as well. But whatever you can do to help, not only in Western North Carolina, but also in Rockingham County, please do what you can. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
How you doing tonight, Ken?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Thanks for taking my call. My thoughts and prayers goes out to everybody who was involved in that tornado. I mean, a hurricane. I mean, they're calling this the Katrina for North Carolina, and I can see why.
Yeah, it's terrible. We haven't seen anything like this.
No, not in a long, long time. I mean, when that one hit Stonewall, Madison, it tore up a bunch of stuff, but I mean, it just didn't really wash the town completely away. My daughter works for Food Line, and she was up in Morganton this past week, and she got there Monday night, and she usually stays gone pretty much all week. But she got there Monday night, and that before anything really happened. But they'd had a storm earlier that day, this past Monday, and a lot of the power was out then due to downed trees and stuff. And like they never found a hotel with lights Monday night, but finally did. But I'm telling you what, Asheville is it's just in terrible shape, man.
I've seen, I guess probably everybody has seen drone footage of Asheville and what it was like during the storm and what it's like right now. The water has receded. There isn't as much water as there was now, but as the water recedes, then you get to see what the water is leaving behind. And it is just widespread destruction in Asheville. It's really awful to see.
It is, man, and I hate to hear about the first caller there was talking, second caller about his friend and his neighborhood up there too. Is there any way I can help with that? If you want to, you can give them my number. I'll do what I can. I can't do a whole lot, but I'll sure do all I can for them.
Well, I hope, and expect that our local relief agencies will be getting involved with that. It's going to take some time for the state to react to that. I hope it won't take very much time. But of course, a statewide disaster was declared by the governor. So everyone who had damage from the storms because of the disaster declaration will certainly be eligible for assistance from the state. Of course, that doesn't do them any good tonight and tomorrow.
Right.
So let's all be aware of that and do what we can.
Yeah, it's just a terrible situation, Ken. I remember when that one hit Stoneville, Madison up there. I was working for the county at that time, and we was working on a building down there beside it used to be the old jail. The supervisor came down there and said, we got to go to Stoneville because the tornado just hit it. And, I thought he was kidding. I said, man, you're kidding. He said, no, seriously. So we got up there about 5 o'clock that night, and they wouldn't let us in due to the power lines and everything being down, but we did go back the next morning, which was Saturday morning, and did a lot of cleanup. But, unless you've been in a combat zone or something like that, it's just unbelievable what destruction can happen in a short period of time, man. It's just unbelievable.
Well, as a caller described a few minutes ago, the tornado just dropped down, did what it did, and then it was gone. It was, as you say, it happens in a very short amount of time.
Yeah. And, I hate to bring politics into anything, but, Trump was wanting to do away with the NOAA situation, and without that, we won't have any warnings for tornadoes and hurricanes and stuff like that. So people need to remember that kind of stuff when they do go to vote.
Well, that is one of the. I think that's one of the recommendations of Project 2025. I believe is what they call it, is to abolish the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I don't know if that would be a good idea.
Yeah, well, I know it would not be, Ken, because, weather's bad enough as it is and getting worse every year, so we don't need to give up something like that.
Well, there was a time, it's hard for us to relate to this. There was a time this would have come as almost a complete surprise. There was a time when there were no predictions. And as bad and awful as it is, there was a time it would have been worse because nobody would have known to prepare for it. And we do have advance warning of these things now. And I think we would lose that advance warning at our peril. I don't think that would be a good thing for us.
I don't need it, Ken. Ken, thanks so much for taking my call, man, and I really enjoy your show.
Well, thanks for calling. It's good to hear from you. The phone line is open. The number's on your screen. Also have a couple of emails over here to read. So let's go find the emails now. Okay. And we will find those emails presently. Hello, Ken. This is Citizen D. It seems like a ton of damage for an F1 tornado. Gosh, that area gets hit hard, as I remember the EF3 that destroyed Stoneville and parts of Mayodan. How many tornado warnings did Rockingham County have out of this storm? Did any other areas have damage? And by the way, for Talladega, I will take the number 5. Okay, Citizen D takes the 5 for Talladega. I remember, I think I remember 6 tornado warnings, and I may have missed one. Well, I don't think I missed one. I may misremember. I think we had 6 tornado warnings. The last 2 of which surprised me yesterday afternoon. When I thought on Saturday that the whole system had passed us by. Then yesterday afternoon we had 2 more tornado warnings. I believe 6 is what we had. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Ken. Hope you're doing well tonight and everyone else. But where was that tornado touchdown that first caller was talking about on 770?
It was, it's about roughly halfway between Eden and Stoneville. If 770 is a road that connects Eden and Stoneville, and that area is about, I think, not quite halfway to Stoneville from Eden.
All right. Well, I didn't quite catch where he said that it was that up there. So it's before you get into Stoneville. Is that what you're telling me?
Right. If you're leaving Eden to go to Stoneville, you get about halfway, maybe a little less than halfway to Stoneville, and then you would turn off Highway 77. I mean Highway 770, and it's in that area right there. It's in northwestern Rockingham County.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to get up there and check that out because that's the first time I heard about that tonight.
Well, I knew that a tornado had touched down there. That is the first time I've gotten that much detail on what happened.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna take you 34 this week in Talladega if you don't mind.
Okay, Leon takes the 34 for Talladega. And Leon, were there any tornado warnings up there in your area?
Well, we had one yesterday that I think somebody told me the cloud was coming down, but they did not touch down right here in the Ridgeway area. But like I said, I had a guy that was telling me it was some very low cloud. This was yesterday.
Well, Leon, I'm glad you didn't see one.
All right, I am too, Ken, because I've never been a part of one.
I haven't either, thank the Lord, and I'm sorry that anybody has.
Yes, I am too. I hate if anybody. The last one I can really remember around here was the one over in Stoneville several years ago.
No, that was an awful day, terrible day.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. All right,
Well,
Ken, I'm gonna get off and let you have another call or two.
thank you, Leon. I appreciate your call. Um, the I guess the closest that I've been to my knowledge, um, the closest that I've been to a tornado was the one that uh, touched down here in Eden, down close to the Smith River. It went across where the Greenway is between the YMCA and the Smith River and did some destruction on Stadium Drive. That was a few years ago. And I didn't even know it when it happened. That was probably about a mile and a half from my house, um, and we didn't know it till it was all over. So I did not know I was that close to one that time. Um, but our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers go out to all the folks in Western North Carolina and certainly right here in Rockingham County. Emailer says, hello, Ken. My thoughts and prayers go out to each and everybody affected by Hurricane Helene. Mr. Wentworth is going with the 12 at Talladega. So let's see. Can't find. Oh, there's Mr. Wentworth. Mr. Wentworth with the 12 at Talladega, and that's in the book. Hi, Mr. Leaksville here, enjoying bringing up the rear this weekend. I'm picking Larson. I have a feeling I may pass last place to another person. All right, Mr. Leaksville takes the 5 for Talladega. Mr. Leaksville, unfortunately, is in the cellar right now, in spite of the fact he had a real tough first weekend. The last 2 weekends, Mr. Leaksville has picked the winner 2 weeks ago and the second place finisher yesterday. So he's on a roll, not quite out of the cellar yet, though. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Ken,
Yes.
hello?
Hey,
Briscoe from
Briscoe.
Hospital.
You're on the air.
I'm breaking the news, so forth. I want to tell you a personal funny story.
Okay.
When I sneeze, for years, I sneeze real loud.
Okay.
And every time I do it, even with by myself or with around anyone, I say that's the second best feeling in the world.
Okay.
Well, one time I did that. I sneezed real loud. I said, that is the second best feeling in the world. And a woman who was in the crowd, snooty type, said, you've got a dirty mind. And my wife touched her on the arm and told her, what he thinks is the best feeling in the world is a complete, perfect completely emptying bowel movement.
All right.
Her face turned red and walked off, and people just laughed at her.
Yeah, well, maybe she was the one with the dirty mind.
That's what I wanted to say, but I didn't. No telling what she thought I was talking about.
Well, we won't speculate
said,
about that. But I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Leon. The sneeze and the other thing, they are two good things, no doubt about it.
This is not Leon.
I'm
This
sorry,
is Briscoe from Huntsville.
Briscoe. Excuse me. I was just talking to Leon. My mistake.
Thank you so very much. I didn't mean to embarrass anybody.
No, you didn't. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Briscoe. All right. Good sneeze and a good BM. Good things. Phone line is open at the number on your screen. We got some more emails over here. Hi, Ken. I want to be anonymous, but I have heard all of the BS political nonsense I can handle. Donald J. Trump is a joke. The reason he is fighting so hard to get elected is to save his own skin. On day one, he will pardon himself from all the charges against him, and then he can breathe again and go forward with his Project 2025 agenda. I hope people will wake up and see what he's doing. I think a vote for Trump will be a vote for eyeliner wearing Vance. Not any of the MAGAs can pronounce Kamala's name. They pronounce her name after a Ugandan wrestler that was brought to the ring in a cage and was just a show. All right. Thank you, emailer. And you shall, as you wish, remain anonymous. This emailer says, Ken, did you see the video that they took in Asheville down there in the Biltmore Village? Have you ever been to Asheville, and do you know where the Biltmore Village is? If you have and you saw that video, that was one of the scariest things ever. Yeah, emailer, I've been to Asheville, and I do know exactly where Biltmore Village is. And it was incredible to see it literally underwater. There was, I saw it in one of the videos, there are sort of in and around the area, there are lots of restaurants and shops and things. And there are also a couple of fast food locations down there. One of them is a Wendy's, which is down there. And one of the pieces of video I saw, it was a drone passing over the Wendy's, and the water was, I would estimate, the water was probably 2 feet, maybe 3 feet from the top of the Wendy's restaurant. Another couple of feet, and that restaurant would have been completely underwater. and there were all around the area in the video, you could see, literally all you could see uh, was the tops of buildings of about that size. And you could see the signs. You could see, I guess, what, the top third of the Wendy's sign up above the water. No, it's unlike anything, obviously unlike anything I've seen in Asheville before. I've never been there in a flood, but it's unlike anything that people who live in Asheville have ever seen before. And even the interstates were shut down. I know Interstate 40 and Interstate 26 were shut down. They opened, I think they got 26. That sort of connects Asheville with, I believe it's Spartanburg, South Carolina. They got that one reopened first. I guess they have 40 reopened now. But for quite a long time, um, Asheville was absolutely, completely cut off from the world. There was no way to get in and out of there. And in fact, there's still not much of a way. They're flying in food and other things to Asheville today. They were airlifting stuff in. And I saw some interviews with some people who were concerned about the shortage of food, literally afraid at one point today that they were going to run out of food. I hope that the airlifted supplies, some of them have arrived by now, so that they won't run out of food. But that's how bad it has been in Asheville, and not just in Asheville. I also read about the town of Canton, and if you've been to that part of the state, you'll know where Canton is, a bit farther west than Asheville. Um, and not only was it flooded out, all of the roads, every road in and out of the town was closed. And I saw an interview with the mayor today who said, and we've talked about this particular thing before. Uh, Cell phone service collapsed completely. There, there were no mobile phone signals in the town of Canton for I don't know how many hours, more than a day, I think it was. So not only could nobody get in and out, no one could even call in and out because the cell phone service collapsed. And we've talked about that before. Is we become so reliant on mobile phones and don't even have hardwired, copper wired telephones anymore. What's going to happen to those mobile phones in a disaster situation when they all go out and we can't make phone calls anymore? Well, it happened. We've seen it happen this past weekend. And that's something we need to think about, how we're going to handle that situation in the future. Phone line is open. There's that number. The email address is kechols47@gmail.com. Let's see. Jack says, put me down for the number 9 in the great book. So, Jack, who is number 1 right now, has the 9 for Talladega. Hi, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Ken. How are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm just fine, Ken. Prayers goes out to all of those who was in that tornado and all that happened over the past weekend here.
Sure.
You know, I live here in Danville, and it seemed like it was all around us. I mean, it seemed like I'm on 3rd Avenue, and it was all around me from Martinsville, North Yanceyville, Chatham, and South Boston, and it seemed like right in the town of Dan. Well, I believe it did. It come down. I believe it came over right in there where they building the apartments at the new apartments.
Right.
I believe it came over downtown down there.
Yeah, I don't
But
know. I don't know if it
down.
touched. I don't know if it touched the ground or not. I know it was close.
Exactly, Ken. It was terrible. I mean, I was at class that day, and we all had to meet into the in the center of the building. when the alarm went off on our phones, and it was scary. I tell you what. Ken, I just called and let you know I had seen this thing on my phone here a while ago, and then this little old lady, they look like they in the 80s, I believe. And the little woman told her husband, said, "Honey, let's run upstairs and make love." He said, "Honey, I can't do both." I thought that was pretty good right there. I thought that was pretty good, kid. Yeah.
Well,
So,
I guess that means he could do one or the other. So I suppose they
that's right.
had to take their choice.
I just pulled it up on my phone. I gotta call in and tell Ken this one here. Let somebody else get a laugh out of it. But
Yeah, that's
anyway,
it.
all right, Ken. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay, thanks for calling. Can't do both. Phone line is open at the number. You can email us at kechols47@gmail.com. Okay, Ken, what's going to. Wait a minute. Okay, Ken, this one says, what is going to happen now with the rivers when all that water comes down from the mountains? Well, the rivers are going to rise. They've started already. The Dan River is noticeably up today. So is the Smith River noticeably up today. I don't know how far up they will get, but the amount of water that fell in the mountains is just incredible. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ken. How you doing tonight?
Good, sir. How are you?
All right, let's get down to business now.
All right.
Where do I stand?
You are you're in fourth place. You are 19 points from the top in fourth place.
Hey, that's going in the wrong direction.
Yeah, you had a little bit of a stumble this week, but you're still in pretty good shape.
Oh, okay then. That's all right. Well, look, Ken, and speaking about the tragedies and everything. Now, I was just thinking, what would this disaster be like if Speaker Johnson had listened to the ex-president and shut the government down 2 weeks ago?
Well,
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, but
There'd be no national response on the national level.
well,
You know?
they would have found a way to do it, but it would not have been quick.
No, it wouldn't be quick and it wouldn't be that organized. And another thing, that it was, well, I say this. They asked the ex-president about climate change. And his answer was, I'm quoting him, it was good and it would create beachfront property.
Well,
that's kind of insensitive, isn't it?
Well,
It's
I mean, I don't know what to say about that. I guess he was joking, wasn't he?
But this is not a time to joke when so many. That's just like injecting beach. They said that was a joke, but back there at the time, they had 1,000 people dying a day, and then you got people without water or trying to hold on to everything that had been destroyed. It's not a time to make joke when you projecting leadership. That's just like when it was flipping paper towels. You remember that in Puerto Rico?
Um, no, I don't really. I don't remember that.
Yeah, yeah. When Puerto Rico, we went over there and they had a disaster and underwater, no drought, and now he showed up and he had paper towels, flipping them to him like people do souvenirs at a ball game. So I mean, this is a serious time, and we can all pray and everything, for those people because we have some serious issues, and just like you said previously in Project 2025, getting rid of these agencies is not the answer uh, to our situation because seems like these issues are getting worse each year. You know, people can disagree on the cause, but they can't disagree that when these issues happening now, they appear to be getting worse each time. You know.
Well, we
And
haven't seen anything like Helene before in North Carolina. I think everybody can agree
that's
on that.
correct. That's correct. Yeah. I know I haven't. I'm not going to tell my age, but I know I
Well, I know I
haven't.
haven't either.
So, anyway, all right, Ken. We like I said, I appreciate you giving out the information where we can help those people, and we just continue to pray also. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, thanks for calling. Good to hear from you. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fair, I guess, for an old man. Seems like the topic is always gets around to be politics, whether we want it to or not. So I'm gonna throw my 2 cents in there. If I could ask Ms. Harris one question, face to face, I wish the media would do it, but they're scared, I guess. I'd love to ask her face to face, is it worth, and name off about 5 of those children that have died by crossing the border illegally, being raped, killed, and some of the Americans have been raped, killed, beaten by the illegals, and give her the names of them and say, really, Ms. Harris, was it worth the 5 free votes you got? These little children's life, was it worth a free vote for a small child like that to lose their life to get a free vote? Thank you for your time, sir, and may God be with you.
Well, thank you for your call. We appreciate that. We have to take a break, and we will be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Steve Lukien. I co-founded Reidsville Family Medicine and later served as Chief of Staff and Board Chair for Annie Penn Hospital. My wife Sarah is a retired teacher. We raised our kids here, they attended public schools, and this is our home. I'm now running for state senate. I will fight to restore public schools, improve health care access, and you, the regular citizen, will be my only boss. Thank you. I'm Steve Lukien, and I approve this message.
I served 9 years on the board of Moorhead Memorial Hospital. I had my daughter at Moorhead Memorial in Eden, North Carolina in 1995. I know firsthand what Phil has done. When the hospital was in bankruptcy, there was a great deal of uncertainty in the community as to whether we continue to have a community hospital. Phil was instrumental in working with the Board of Trustees of UNC to save Moorhead Memorial Hospital. If not for the efforts of Phil, I think we would have lost our community hospital.
Phil Berger.
Welcome back to Star Talk. We're back. I think we're back. Okay. Welcome back to Star Talk. I'm Ken Echols. We have just a few minutes left. Somebody asked me to read the points, which I have forgotten to do, so I'll do that right now. Most of you have these in your email. I think all the emails got delivered this time. But here are the current standings. Uh, Top of the list, Jack, 177 points. Citizen D is second with 176. Mr. Pelham is in third place at 165. Liberal is fourth, 158. Charles is fifth, 157. Mr. Draper sixth with 150. Early Bird is 149. He's in seventh place. Number 8, Tar Heel in Mayodan, 138 points. Captain Midnight is ninth with 136. Avenger is 10th with 135. Mr. Wentworth in 11th place, 127. A tie for 12th. Nice Guy and Pretty Man tied for 12th, 125. 14th is Mark with 132. Leon is next with 104, and Mr. Leaksville has 101. So that's how they stand right now. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Ken. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, thank you. Somebody mentioned a little bit ago about Trump and climate change. Well, you know, Trump don't believe in climate change like the rest of us who are in the know. It's not climate change. It's, you know, what they're spraying in the air is to deflect the sun back away from the planet to prevent climate change. But what it's doing is blocking the Earth's heat and holding it in to produce a climate change.
Now, hang on a second. I'm sorry. I'm going to interrupt you for just a second and ask you a question. You sent me a link. Do you remember sending me a link that had a link to a movie about this? Do you remember sending me that?
Probably do. Probably off of geoengineering.com.
Yeah, that's right. Have you watched that movie?
The one I sent to you?
Yes. Have you watched it?
Well, I've watched quite a few, so I don't really remember the one I sent to you. I mean...
Okay. Well, that's fine. The only reason I mentioned it is because I did watch it. And it was interesting to say the least. I guess the point of it, there are questions that they raise in that movie that I have not heard anybody answer. Now, I know this is a controversial topic, the whole geoengineering thing, but I have not been able to find the answers to some of the questions they raised in that movie, and I got to tell you, they're very serious questions.
Well, do you know the questions?
Yeah, I can think of a couple of them. One of them, well, we're going to run out of time here, so I'll have to make this quick. Some of the questions deal with the nature of contrails, how contrails behave when they are caused by simply the heat from a jet engine. They dissipate in one way. When they are created by some sort of substance released by an airplane, they dissipate in a different sort of way. And some of the ones we see don't appear to be dissipating the way that we would expect heat contrails to dissipate. And nobody's been able to explain to me why.
Well, they're not heat. The chemical trails we see, the long ones that stay there, they're not through the engines. They're not through heat.
Well,
they're through nozzles off the wing.
Right.
They come out in the cold air.
I guess my point is, I understand. Yeah, I understand that that's the argument that's being made, and none of the scientific explanations that I've seen, and quite honestly, I have not seen any scientific explanation that accounts for that, and it really makes you wonder.
that accounts for the difference in the contrails and chemtrails?
Right.
Yeah, well, the contrails, the jet engines have been redesigned so specifically that a trail that looks like maybe a couple of football fields behind a jet is a condensation trail because it's water vapor that melts as it's falling, and it melts before we can even see it do anything else. The other trails that they leave behind them, they go all the way from one side of our site to the other. They're chemicals, and they float in the air like talcum powder, and they eventually settle in the water and the grass, and the cows eat it, and the sheep eat it, and everything else eats it. We eat them, and there's all kind of different things in those chemicals, and so we're breathing it. It's part of population elimination, part of population control. It's to weed out the weak, like me. Weed out the old and the weak. It'll affect people's breathing like it has mine. And, it'll affect people's other organs and things that they're weak in or have a problem with, and it'll part of depopulation. That's all it is. And to make people believe what the government is saying about climate control, about climate change, I mean.
Well, we're going to have to call time. Going to have to call time there because I'm out of time. But anyway, I did watch the movie, and there's some interesting stuff in there, and that's all the time we got.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling.
All the food we eat is geoengineered.
Thanks for calling. That is all we have for Star Talk tonight. Remember the folks in Western North Carolina and the folks in Rockingham County and in other places who are in a very bad way right now because of the tornadoes and the storms. And we all should look for a way to help. And I know that all of you who have means to find a way will do so. Star Talk is on the air Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I hope you'll join us for our next show. Thanks for watching. I'm Ken Echols.